years ago, due to a bacterial infection, they never told me what it was, but she was left with negative effects afterwards. She sees certain specialists, but that was my concern. They would never find anything. They wouldn't tell me anything. And about 3 months ago, her fists clenched themselves together. She was only able to move these fingers. We had to turn her in her bed. We had to assist her with everything. We had to bathe her. Whenever she stood up, her feet would give out. On Tuesday, I took her to see the rheumatologist. She couldn't do anything on her own, anything. She couldn't even hold on to anything. And God was so great that on Tuesday, it was as if the rheumatologist was making fun of her. She would grab her little feet and it would throw them aside. And the doctor said to me, "No, I can't find anything." She ordered a bunch of tests. And at that moment, my daughter said to the rheumatologist, "No, I have a great God, and I know that you will one day find out what is wrong with me." Do you know what the doctor replied? "I am sending you to a psychiatrist." So my daughter said, "Doctor, I am not crazy. I have a great God who will get me out of this wheelchair." And the doctor sent her to the neurologist and said, "I will look for a way to find out what is wrong with you. But you have to come back with all the tests from the neurologist, from the psychiatrist, and with all the tests, because I don't know why you're there. Why you can't even stay in the wheelchair." She had to remain in bed because she couldn't bear being in the wheelchair. But yesterday, it was such a great blessing because we didn't have the financial means to travel, but we were blessed because the brother has said to the pastor that we could travel with them. And for her comfort, I figured I have to medicate her. I have to give her pills so she endures the trip. But it was so beautiful. She couldn't clap her hands, but with her fists, she would do this. She would do this. She would sing, and it was beautiful. I was asking God for her so much, but God manifested Himself in such a great way that I have no words, brothers and sisters, to tell you about the great happiness I feel to see my daughter walking. I know that yesterday the wheelchair traveled back along with our luggage because she walked back.
Bravo! Se paró la silla de ruedas.
Sister Maria Luisa, after the doctors couldn't figure it out, why I wasn't going to be able to walk again, why I was losing my hands, I couldn't move my fingers. After I was in a wheelchair, now God has me standing again. I arrived in a wheelchair and I had to take pills because I couldn't bear the pain in my spine. After water baptism, where I arrived in a wheelchair, I was able to open my hands. It was something incredible for me. Afterwards, I felt a warmth all over my body. I felt like when you have electricity running all over your body, and I felt as though I wanted to stand up. I said to my mom, I want to stand up. I want to walk. I feel it in my body. I feel it deep inside of me. I feel it. I feel that I want to stand up. And God has put me here. May all of this be for the glory of God. God bless you. It was something that before I was baptized, they told me they were going to baptize me outside, not in the pool. And they told me that it was going to be a symbolic baptism. But I said, God, I don't want them to baptize me out here. I want them to baptize me like all other brothers and sisters, and I want to serve you. And I know that it's because of your great mercy, and I have a lot of faith in you, Lord, that you can perform a work in me. From then on, the brothers placed me inside of the pool. They baptized me. After that, when I got out of there, being on the chair, I felt a warmth in my body. I felt as though I was having cramps all over my body due to the excitement, and I was wondering, but why? I felt that cheerfulness. When I grabbed my hands and I looked, my hands were open. My hands were open. I grabbed one and said, Mom, look at my hands. My hands are open. This, after I wasn't able to, after I used to struggle to open them up and I couldn't. Because the doctor who saw me once told me that the more I forced them, my fingers were bending out of shape. And if I kept forcing them, I was going to lose my fingers because they would end up getting even more crooked. And yesterday they perfectly opened up. I was moving my hands. They didn't hurt. They didn't hurt at all. When I was still feeling that warmth in my body, someone told me that they had to help me get dressed. I was still feeling that warmth in my body, and I had a feeling as though I was already standing, as if someone were telling me, stand up, stand up. From there, I felt the warmth in my body, and I felt, I want to stand up. I want to stand up. I want to stand up from here. When they were going to get me dressed, after I used to not be able to even push myself up because I had no strength, after I used to not be able to do it, and something kept telling me, stand up because you are going to be able to do it. When I stood up, my feet didn't give out. I was able to stand up on my own. My feet didn't give out. They didn't hurt. They didn't burn. My bones didn't hurt either. I was able to stand up. I still didn't believe it. I said, my God, your wonders are great. I can stand. My lifetime won't be enough to thank you. I will always praise you, Lord. After that, they told me, walk, meaning the other brothers and sisters who were there. I was able to walk without any problem. I walked as if God had given me balance at that moment because I wasn't wobbling and I wouldn't fall down. I walked. My body, I kept saying, my God, was trembling out of excitement. I was saying, my God, I'm walking. It doesn't hurt. This came after I was told that I was going to lose my hands. And my fingers, the greatest and most wonderful thing God did is that my fingers were bending out of shape. Now, I have my hands open and my fingers straight. None of them are crooked, and I feel no pain whatsoever, because God has healed me.